Try to remember a time in September when life was slow and oh so mellow. Try to remember a time in September when grass was green and grain was yellow. Try to remember a time in September when you were a tender and callow fellow. Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow. Try to remember when life was so tender that no one wept except the willow. Try to remember when life was so tender that dreams were kept beside your pillow. Try to remember when life was so tender and love was an ember about to billow. Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow.
Thank you for inviting Marion and me and J.P. Bear to share our lifelong memories with you this evening. We've been together in love for so many years, and each time we share our story, it brings all the joy and wonder of our lives back together one more time. It also brings back some of the more challenging moments, but I'm sure each of us here this evening could probably say the same thing. So let me see. Where should I begin? Remembering, forgetting, remembering again, forgetting again. There are so many special memories I want to share, and I want to honor each one of them. But I must confess, at times, I get lost or confused when I'm with Marion, and these notes I have help me to find my way back to her, and also to me. So I hope you'll understand if I occasionally refer to them to help guide me on this journey. During the past few years, it's been an endless cycle of trying to navigate these waters of memory with Marion. Oftentimes, it seemed like one or both of us has been lost trying to maintain contact in these murky and ever-changing tides. This challenging journey has evoked many memories for both of us, but there is one in particular which keeps floating up to the surface from my childhood. The image, which is quite vivid, was from my 10th birthday party, when I had just unwrapped the gift that I'd been dreaming about for months. It was everything I imagined, but so much more. Over the next few days, weeks, and months, I played with it endlessly, continuing to create new ways to use it and transform it. Looking back now, it seemed like nothing else mattered. And as long as I had this gift, then life was good and would always be good. Now, I realize what I may say now may seem simplistic, but it is still true to this very day. That birthday gift recollection is what it was like when I first met and fell in love with Marion. and even more so when she fell in love with me. For years, my heart belonged to Marion, even when she was dating Buddy. It was clear the two of them were head over heels in love with each other, and everybody in our small town of McCook, Nebraska, knew it. Truth be told, their love for one another brought joy to everybody around them, including me. Now, it didn't mean that I gave up my feelings for her, but I was then, and still am, a very practical man. I dated other girls in high school, which was quite pleasant, but there was never the same magic as there was with Marion. I also knew that if I returned home from the insanity and destruction of fighting for our country during the Korean War, that I would probably finish college, marry one of those girls, and settle down in our hometown. I also knew that when Buddy would return, he and Marion would probably do the same thing. And I'd be pleased for them, because I would want them and her to be happy. But regrettably, Buddy was shot down after a successful bombing run. His body was returned to McCook for a fallen hero's funeral, and he would always be remembered with a monument in the center of town. Now, my love for Marion had not diminished a single iota during this time, but because I did love her so much, I would never have considered approaching her. I would always honor what she and Buddy had, and would probably always have. But then in the fall, 2+ years after the war ended, Marion came into the bank one day where I was working as a junior finance officer, and we looked at each other in a new way. Oh, she was as beautiful as I remembered, but even more so. There was so much I wanted to say, but I was still immersed in my banker self, so I blurted out, "Hello, Marion. It's good to see you. How can I help you?" It was definitely not the most romantic greeting in the world. I still can't explain quite what happened, except that it was like being 10 years old again. And it was my birthday, and I just opened the gift I'd been dreaming about for years. She was everything I remembered, but more, so much more. I could not create anything more wondrous than what we had discovered in that moment and began to create with one another. And that moment grew into a very special relationship. We began to date one another, enjoying each other's friendship as well as all our friends. But it was so special just to be with her. And all that changed one night when we went dancing, as we loved to do. I can still remember the moment as though it were happening all over again right now. The music had stopped, and I began to walk off the dance floor, still holding her hand. And she didn't move. The other dancers seemed to disappear slowly from around us, and it was as though we were all alone on the dance floor. She held my hand tightly, and I turned towards her, wondering what had happened. "Marion, what's the matter?"
"Edmund, I love you."
Oh. She had never said those words before. And I couldn't move or even speak. It seemed like the world came to a stop, and I was at a complete loss as to what to say or do next. Then, from a place within me that I had never known before, I whispered, but I felt like shouting or singing, "I love you."
"I love you too."
Oh, that moment was then joyfully magnified over and over again in so many ways throughout our lives together, with the birth of each of our children, Gwen and Sarah, and in so many other ways. And that's not to Not to say we didn't experience challenges and hardships along the way over the next several years and decades, but as long as we had each other, and life was complete and blessed, what else did we need, or would we ever need? Even when the girls got married, there was a time of adjustment with their husbands. But when the children were born, it brought a whole new joy and wonder into our lives. There were times, I remember, when Marion and I would take a long trip, when she would reflect on how many blessings we had in our lives. And then she'd pause to remind me always to appreciate what we had and never to be complacent about it.
Just remember, Edmund, never take any of this for granted, because we don't know how long it will be ours.
Oh, you're right, Marion. You're absolutely right, as you usually are. As much as I said that, I don't think I ever fully allowed myself to believe, let alone accept it. Now, that's not to say I'm not a practical man, because when it comes to managing financial matters and the practical operations of life, I am very focused, accomplished, and successful. But then a day came when the world changed in a way that all my focus, accomplishments, and success could not change or prevent. My sweet Marion began to disappear. It's difficult for me to explain so that it makes sense to anyone, because it still doesn't make sense to me. And for me, making practical sense of things is what life is all about. The way I think about it is, she began to fade away slowly and then disappear. In her place, somebody else began to move in. Now, even as I say this, I realize how bizarre it must sound, but it was, and still is, true. Oh, there were times when we were in conversation and she would inadvertently call me Buddy. But then immediately, as though she were trying to retrieve her words, she would call me Edmund again. And over the next few months, this increased, but we learned how to pretend it didn't happen. Now, that's not to say I didn't notice and have a reaction to it, but I would tell myself she was still my Marion, and always would be. At first, we all adapted to this bump in the road without speaking about it, but eventually the children began to notice how much more often she was in another world. There were times when they were more cautious about leaving the grandchildren alone with her, which was certainly understandable. But as usual, it was Marion who had the courage to address this bump more openly. She was the courageous one who spoke to our family doctor and who recommended that we visit a specialist. Over the next few years, we all learned how to adapt to this change in Marion. I must admit that it was quite painful, which was compounded by the fact that the one person in whom I trusted most was fading away, far, far away. But it was much more important that I be there for her, because she was my Marion, and my Marion deserved everything I could give her. But the day came when I painfully realized that no matter how much I loved her, no matter how much and how successful I was in the rest of my life, I could not bring her back anymore. It was late in the afternoon when I came home from having run an errand over to Sarah's house to pick up an album of photographs from years gone by. Marion was standing in the middle of the living room, looking magnificent. It stopped me in my tracks with a flood of cherished memories, and for one brilliant moment, she was my Marion again. But as I went to give her an embrace, she handed me the clock from our bedroom with a rushing stream of demands. And in a moment we were lost in a flood of incomprehensible wants, none of which seemed to make sense, at least to me.
Look at this clock, buddy. How can we be on time if we have to depend on this clock?
Well, that is the right time, Marion. Look, if you want me to change it, I will. I'll make it whatever time you want it to be.
It's not up to me what time it is. It's simply not right. Oh, everything's going wrong now. This clock, uniform, the dance. Just fix the time now. Is that too much to ask, buddy?
Time? Time? I don't know what time you want it to be.
What did they do to you? What happened to my sweet buddy?
Let me see. There, is that right?
I can't be sure. I'm not sure. It doesn't look right. Let me ask Sarah.
I'll fix it, okay? How's this? Or this? Or maybe this? Marion, it doesn't matter.
Of course it matters. Everybody will be waiting for us. We'll be late. Sarah? Sarah, where are you? Oh, Sarah, come take a look, will you? Buddy can't make sense of our time.
Marion, I said it doesn't matter. And turning to leave, I suddenly entered another time and space beyond my control or understanding.
Oh, buddy, don't go. What did they do to you? What happened to my sweet buddy?
I told you, I am not your buddy. Do you understand? I'm Edmund Buddy. Oh, I've got to get out of here now.
It's all right, buddy. You don't have to be afraid anymore. I know what's going on. It's that letter, that dream. I know all about it. But you don't have to worry anymore. They're safe, buddy. They're all alive. The town, the hall, everyone, they're all safe. No more planes, no more bombs, no more missions. It's all over now. You're back home, buddy. No more. No more, no more.
I can't do this. I've got to go now. It's too late, Marion. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I got to call Sarah. Maybe she can help.
It's all right, buddy. You don't have to be afraid anymore. It's all over. Oh, don't go away. I don't want us to be late for the dance. Everybody's waiting. They're all waiting. Don't go. I don't want us to be late.
It's already late, Marion. It's already too late. It's all gone now.
Buddy, don't leave me. Buddy.
Do you hear me? I am not Buddy. I'm your husband, Edmund. Buddy is gone. He's all gone, and he's never coming back. Never! Do you understand? Oh, damn it! Damn it! Damn it. Oh, son of a bitch. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I'm all done. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Something. Anything to help me find my way to what we've lost. Even during the war, it wasn't like this. Something. Anything. Oh, I'm sorry, Marion. I'm so sorry. I can't do it anymore. I don't know how to find you. You're so far away. I wish. Oh, when was it? When did I lose you? Was it the day we left that specialist's office after he told us that you wouldn't always be? Oh, I just can't remember anymore. Where did we go? What did we do? All I remember is we were sitting in the car. Oh, Marion, it really doesn't matter when, does it?
Turn off the engine, Edmund.
Where did it all go? It's so far away.
Edmund, please, turn it off. Are you listening? Edmund. Edmund, where are you? You seem like you're 1,000 miles away. Please, turn the engine off. I can't think.
What did you say?
I'm not ready to go yet. I want to stay here for a while. I need to make sense of it, of what the doctor said.
I think we should go home now, Marion.
No.
We can't sit here in the parking lot. It doesn't look right.
No, not yet.
What do you mean?
Edmund, you won't forget me, will you?
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Promise me, Edmund, please. You heard him. You heard what he said.
I think we should go home, Marion. We'll talk about it there. I'll make you some tea. It'll help you relax.
I don't want to go home now. I don't want to relax. I want you to answer my question.
Marion, he doesn't know everything. There's lots of doctors who still don't understand.
Edmund, promise me, please. I think I don't always remember everything.
I know, Marion. I know.
I have something to tell you, but you have to promise me you won't get mad. I'm sorry about it, Edmund. I really am sorry.
There's nothing to be sorry about, Marion.
Edmund, are you going to promise me or not?
I promise, Marion. I promise I won't get mad.
I didn't tell the doctor everything, but I have to tell you now. And you have to listen to me, and you have to believe me. Do you understand?
Yes, Marion, I think so.
Sometimes I don't think I always remember our precious grandchildren, JJ and Lucy.
What do you mean, Marion?
My diary. I've been trying to write things in my diary so I won't forget.
That sounds like a very good idea.
Please don't interrupt me. I won't be able to finish telling you. The last time that JJ and Lucy were over, I must have written about it. But when I was reading it later, their names, sweet little JJ and Lucy, their names.
It's all right, Marion. It's all right.
No! It's not all right! It's not all right! You don't understand! Their names, their precious names, they were gone, all gone. 2 other names. I had written 2 other names. How could I forget them, Edmund? How could I?
I'm sorry, Marion. I'm so sorry.
Make it stop, Edmund. Please make it stop.
I'll do everything I can, Marion. Marion? Marion, are you all right? Let me take you home now. Marion? Where are you? Where did you go? Talk to me, please.
You never promised.
Promised? I don't understand, Marion. What do you want me to promise?
Promise me, please. No matter what happens, no matter where I go, you won't forget me. You'll always remember me. Promise me, Edmund, please. Promise me. Promise me. Promise me. Promise.
Marion?
Who's there?
It's me.
Who?
It's me, Ed. It's Buddy. I'm ready, Marion. I'm ready to go to the dance now.
Buddy? I once knew a Buddy, but he went away. I don't think he ever came back.
I'm sorry I was away for so long, Marion. But I'm glad to be back home now. You look as beautiful as I always remembered. Beautiful enough to go to a dance.
Oh my. Oh, I haven't danced for a long time. I used to love to dance, but I don't think I should go out right now. It'll be dark soon.
Hello, Marion. It's good to see you. So very good. And I promise
the way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that. No, no, they can't take that away from me. The way you smile just beams, the way you sing off key, the way you haunt my dreams. No, no, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that away from me.
Now I remember you.
and I remember you. And I love you.
I love you too.
We may never meet again on this bumpy road to love, but I'll always keep the memory of the way you hold your knife, the way we danced till 3, the way you changed my life. No, no, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that away. No, they can't take that away. No, they can't take that away from me. In a forgotten room, in a forgotten house,